Good afternoon and welcome to the APS webinar, What do the recent membership changes mean for me? My name is Andrew Leslie, I'm Technical and Standards Manager, and I have with me today Laura Hardy, Events Coordinator, and Rebecca Worrell, Marketing and Communications Officer. Hopefully on your computer screen you will be looking at an image of the membership structure. This structure was first announced to members in a series of regional events in March 2015 and followed up in Digest issue 34, issued to all members in April 2015. So what I'm going to do is talk for about 10 minutes about that diagram and then we'll take some questions after that. So looking at the diagram, first of all, and just running through the overview of it, we've got a dotted line above which are the key member categories, incorporated and certified, that we have introduced. Now you'll see in the diagram that there are aspects of becoming an incorporated member in relation to the number of points in our credit tables that are required for new applicants. And you will see that the points differ between the incorporated member and the certified member. Each applicant who is new to this will also sit the 2015 exam, which most of you listening to this will already have done, and attend a telephone interview. For certified members, though, there is a requirement to demonstrate through evidence, which I'll go into later, of additional knowledge. Below the dotted line are memberships, affiliated student and associate, who we're not expecting will be practicing as a duty holder under CDM. So I'm just going to run through that in a bit more detail. We'll leave the map up there. So the changes to the membership categories that were proposed in the Your Partner for the Future regional meetings and in Digest had to be approved at the APS AGM. And therefore, between April, when CDM 2015 came into force, and the AGM on 6th of October, registered members were requested to sit an online exam to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding of CDM 2015, L153 and the associated guidance, and we included questions on other knowledge areas. On successful completion of the exam, registered members became RMAPs 2015. It was necessary for APS to take immediate action following the introduction of CDM 2015 to ensure that registered members could demonstrate that they had been accredited as having knowledge and understanding of CDM 2015 as soon as possible after the new regulations came into effect. This was despite knowing that in only a matter of months it was likely that the membership structure could change. So, what are the benefits of these changes to the membership? APS is always looking to maintain and raise our skills and knowledge standards. With the new regulations, we were offered the opportunity to do this by the removal of the direct link between registered membership of APS and the legislation. This led to us reviewing our whole membership structure. Fundamentally, we wanted to allow access to a major pan-industry institution, that is the APS, for all designers and consultants at a level they wanted, and that level would be aligned to their own business model. We are not the Association of Principal Designers, but the Association for Project Safety, whose members are the industry leaders in pre-construction health and safety design risk management. So I'll now describe briefly the changes shown in the diagram, or in slightly more detail than I did before. So the key proposition is raising the bar, and the bar is represented by the dotted line, above which APS members are accredited at various levels of capability to carry out duties under CDM 2015. First of all, we have retained the affiliate and associate levels of membership, Affiliate members receive information only, and that will be digests and practice notes, for example. Associates receive the same, but use post-nominals, and it is not expected by APS that associates will be capable of undertaking CDM duties. We've proposed two types of membership who will be capable of undertaking CDM 2015 duties: IMAPS and CMAPS. IMAPS is incorporated member and CMAPS certified member. And basically the two categories are intended to address the spread of capability, the skills, knowledge and experience within the industry. This is consistent with the spread of type, sizes and complexity of projects and addresses the introduction of small, more straightforward projects now requiring a coordinator. In other words, those projects that have more than one contractor, which were previously not notifiable. It is not necessary for every member to have the same level of skill, knowledge and experience. IMAPS, incorporated member, is essentially equivalent to RMAPS 2015, and we should really emphasize this. RMAPS 2015 members on October the 8th automatically became incorporated members following the ratification of the proposed changes by AGM. This is rebranding from RMAPS to IMAPS. APS will be making a considerable effort in publications to emphasize that that situation has occurred to the industry. Members who can demonstrate knowledge and understanding of a minimum of 4 health and safety subjects will be eligible to apply for CMAPS membership. Their route to certified membership is to provide evidence relating to the 4 areas of specialist knowledge and understanding over a 2-year period between January 2016 and January 2018. And one of the specialist knowledge areas that will be mandatory will be health. APS does not feel that all members have to go to CMAPS level. And I'm going to use an analogy here to describe how we see incorporated and certified members sitting in the industry, and I'm going to use the analogy of the medical GP and the medical consultant. Your own doctor was a GP, perfectly capable individual and able to carry out a wide range of functions within medicine. A GP will not, however, be able to carry out specialist operations in hospitals. And we see that the incorporated member of APS is more or less equivalent to a GP in medical terminologies, and the certified member will be more aligned with what a specialist consultant would do in hospitals. And that's a way of looking at how we have set out these two levels of membership. Members applying to be CMAPs have to demonstrate 2 specialist knowledges by January 2017 and a further 2 by January 2018. After completing the first 2 within the first year, they will be moved to certified member, providing their subscription CPD is up to date. And in order to retain this membership level, the remaining 2 specialist knowledge areas evidence have to be provided by January 2018. They can, of course, do all 4 within the first year if they wish, and existing IMAPs applying to be CMAPs will not have to demonstrate the higher points level or undertake a telephone interview required of new applicants. However, if these 2 steps to CMAPs are not met by the annual deadlines, then the only way to become a certified member will be to demonstrate the higher points base and undertake the telephone interview, in addition to demonstrating the additional knowledges. We are currently finalising arrangements for members to apply for CMAPs, but this will not be available until January 2016. In the meantime, all members will be IMAPs. It has been decided that health knowledge will be mandatory, and we can also say what it will cover in terms of the content of that particular module, if you like. We're currently arranging CPD 37 for early next year, which will cover health subjects and will be examined. at the end of the half-day course, and this will count towards meeting the standard required to demonstrate knowledge of health topics. Our current thinking is that the health topic itself will include the following: a brief introduction to asbestos and lead, because these subjects are large subjects in their own right and will be dealt with separately. Silica and construction dust will also be included. Musculoskeletal injuries, noise and vibration, dermatitis and solar issues will also be covered under the health topic. The special knowledge topics have been publicised on the website in relation to the 2015 exam in outline, but currently the other topics would be asbestos, working at height, fire safety and construction sites, temporary works, leadership soft skills, and demolition. So I'll explain a bit more about the specialist knowledge topics. The subject specialists that we are engaging with will map out existing available courses and set exam questions. There will be a number of ways for members to provide evidence to APS when they are applying for CMAPs. And I'll just run through these very quickly. In the first instance, members or new applicants for that matter can provide evidence of recently assessed training undertaken in areas of specialist knowledge that APS will accredit as deemed to satisfy. Now that, some of you will recall, probably aligns itself with the aspect training module, which was at one stage the only mechanism that we envisaged in moving towards CMAP's membership. However, as an alternative to that, APS will provide online tests in all the specialist knowledge areas in January 2016. And this route is aimed at those who already have the knowledge and understanding of these topics and may already have undertaken training and qualification and have kept up to date with CPD and can demonstrate the knowledge and understanding simply by taking that particular test. Another alternative is for a member to attend an assessed training course covering one of the specialist knowledge topics. And the courses will, in the main, be those suggested by the authors of the questions. A final possibility is that APS may offer some of these subject matters, topics for examination through national CPD. And I mentioned earlier that we are already planning CPD 37 to cover health. So that concludes my broad outline of the membership structure, and we can now look at some of the questions that have been submitted.
Okay, Andrew, so the first question that we have is, if we have a current examined accreditation, will we still need to take the APS online exams or tests? You've kind of covered that already, but I don't want to elaborate on that a little.
Okay, it's fairly straightforward. If someone has an examined accreditation, and let me use the example of asbestos P402, it is quite likely that that would map against our requirements. I should also say that we are mapping against NEBOSH courses, and we will be directed by the specialists that we have involved in looking at these various topics as to which courses can be mapped against.
Okay, the next one is, when will these exams be available to take?
We're planning that the exams will be available from January 2016.
Okay, and how soon will we be able to upgrade to CMAP's membership, providing that we meet the criteria?
Well, once the criteria, and the initial criteria, of course, are 2 specialist subjects in the first year, as soon as a member is able to provide evidence of knowledge in these specialist subjects in one of the mechanisms for doing that I've described earlier, then that member will submit an application form, and the usual timescales for processing an application would apply.
Okay. Do the categories take into account prior qualifications?
Prior qualifications. Well, in a sense, they do if that prior qualification relates to the knowledge subject itself, and if the prior qualification has been achieved some time ago, that CPD and various other methods of keeping the qualification up to date have been undertaken. It's more than likely, though, and this is why we introduced the exams, that for people with prior qualifications dating some time ago, but who have gained knowledge and understanding of the subject through their business for a number of years, then probably the most straightforward route is to take the online exam.
Okay. With the specialist areas, for example, asbestos, if you already hold the P405 and the like, will the specialist area therefore not need to take the test?
Yes, that's likely to be the case. I should qualify that by saying that if the P405 was achieved some time ago, we would expect to see that the current regulations had been addressed through CPD and other methods of keeping up to date. Okay.
The next one is, when will I receive my new membership mark? And I can answer that one. We're sending these out to you very shortly, so watch this space and that will come out via email. Okay, and the next question is, are there any notes to go with this webinar? And the answer is yes, we will put notes on the website along with the recording of this webinar, and we'll also circulate it around to the membership as well. Okay, does anyone else have any questions they'd like to ask? That's the end of the questions we have so far. If anyone else wants to put any questions in, please feel free. You're just on the right hand side in your toolbar, you can add a question in there.
I see a question coming up. Half a day training with APS has more credence than 100 hours of occupational health training under NEBOSH. No, of course it doesn't. The training that is proposed for CPD 37 will lead towards understanding of health topics, but that may or may not be all that is required. I don't think there's anything more I can say other than, of course, whatever training we are providing will enhance and assist a member, particularly if they have additional knowledge and qualification.
Okay, the next question we have is, I am an APS member. Will we be required to do CPD?
An associate member, well, you should be undertaking CPD in any case. We're currently reviewing our requirements for CPD, and that should be announced hopefully before the end of the year. APS are wanting to have a slightly more robust mechanism in place for members to supply us with information about the CPD they undertake. And this is a very important aspect of what we're doing to up our game, if you like.
Okay, the next question is, could you please run through the specialist subjects once again?
Right, I had a request to go through the specialist subjects, and these are asbestos, working at height, fire safety and construction sites, temporary works, leadership and soft skills, demolition, and health. It may well actually be that we will separate out lead as a special subject as well. That's still in discussion.
Okay. The next one is, do you have any idea of the charges for exams and courses?
The APS CPD event will be at the usual rate. We are looking at a low-cost option for the exams themselves. The first attempt, I think, will be free to members, and £10 thereafter for resits.
Thank you, Andrew. I've got another question here. If your role is purely to provide advice to clients and PDs and not to take on these roles, do you think the IMAPS level is sufficient?
Right, providing advice. The IMAPS membership is a membership that should allow the performance of any of the key roles under CDM 2015, the PD, the consultant to the PD, and the advisor or consultant to the client. It's entirely up to the member what position they play within the industry and in relation to their clients' requirements. So the answer to the question is yes, your IMAPS membership will be sufficient to provide advice to clients and PDs.
Okay, the next question. Will a NEBOSH fire safety management qualification in the last 5 years, will that exempt you from the core training courses?
The answer to that is most probably. We will be running the mapping of NEBOSH courses against our requirements with the specialists that we're talking to. So most probably is the answer to that.
Okay. Next question. If you are an IMAPS, can you use IMAPS 2015 as a qualification after your signature?
No, the 2015 was really to distinguish the RMAPS member had actually gone through the process of sitting our online CDM 2015 exam. All that is necessary for an IMAPS member is to have the post-nominal IMAPS.
Okay, if you have a P402 and a P403, do you have to do the asbestos module? Kind of had that already.
I think we've had that one, but the answer is probably not. So long as the P402 has been kept up to date, for example, if it's been received several years ago, we would expect to see some updates through CBD events, etc. Most probably is the answer to that.
Okay, the next one. Will APS get all the info? Sorry, will APS get all the info supplied to IMAPS members? So will associate members get all the same information supplied to IMAPS as they do as an IMAPS member would get?
Well, the various services and the like that go to the membership are currently on the website. We don't see that there'll be any difference in what is already supplied, and therefore the associate members will get less than the incorporated and certified members.
Okay, and the next one, I'll just see it coming on the screen there. Second. I won't keep you a minute. Okay, will APS have a procedure for mapping in-house courses that their individual companies provide? Accredited.
I've been asked this before. It's going to be difficult to map internal courses, but it's something that we'd certainly be prepared to consider. It depends on the circumstances, it depends on the course content and so on. It might be easier for companies to map against our requirements, and that's something we'll have a look at.
Okay, so when you mentioned CMAPs showing as being capable of carrying out CDM duties, do you have any indication that IMAPs or CMAPs will therefore be receiving any public approval or recognition from organisations such as HSE or the MCG?
Right, that's a good question. In fact, we've been keeping very close contact with HSE as we've been developing these membership changes, and HSE are very much approving of what we are doing. And so HSE are aware of IMAPs and CMAPs. They were very supportive of APS at the recent convention, and that will be reported in the next digest due out shortly.
Okay, so the next question is, will subscription fees stay the same?
At the moment, this is still to be decided. There won't be any major changes planned so far. What we've done at the moment at HQ is we've put proposals forward, but I can't say at this particular time whether or not these have been adopted. No major change is the main message.
That appears to be all of the questions, Andrew.
Well, can I ask if there are any more questions? Please type on. We'll give it a few minutes, but if there are no more questions, we can close the session. I'm not seeing anything come up. Well, we'll wait. I'll just finish off then. I hope that the brief description and the Q&A session has been helpful to everyone who has attended. There's been a good attendance. We're very pleased with that. We're very pleased to be able to get the message out to members and to reinforce to members that we are actually pushing this and will continue to in the industry for the benefit of members in the short and long term. Is that another question coming in? I think we've got another question.
Just one more point to make is that the recording of this session will be on the website later on this afternoon, along with any notes that we can supply as well. So if you've got any colleagues that haven't managed to catch this webinar and they would like to find out more, please point them in that direction, and we'll keep you informed.
Okay, I think we've finished. Thank you very much.